All right, what up, people? It's your boy coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is Late Night with Chig, where I talk to you about just Arsenal news, things relating to the Arsenal generally. And if we're really hard up and it's an international week, I'll talk about footballing stories generally. Now, first of all, big thank you to Lee Gunner. I saw his message. I saw him tell people to spam my chat. Oh, I'll get you back to that one, brother. But thank you very much. Thank you to Lee Gunner for that. Much appreciated, my bro. Thank you very much. I'm going to talk to you guys today about a subject that is not going to be popular with you guys, apparently, because I spent all day arguing. I say all day, probably about 24 hours, arguing with various different people on this. Probably the same 5 people I've been arguing with on this on Twitter, and that is Pochettino. So big up to you, Rabadan. Thank you very much. Thank you for the donation. And thank you so much to Lee again. All right, here we go. So it seems that Arsenal's new favourite, Arsenal fans' new boo, is Pochettino. That's right. Out of seemingly nowhere, I kind of mentioned it. I say I mentioned it. I did a video on it a couple of days ago that Poch can't be seriously considered as an Arsenal manager that we would be considering to take on. Thank you, Abamon. I see you. Thank you. And yes, I've been seeing over the last few days that, oh, well, I'd have Poch. And I just thought, okay, maybe it's just 1 or 2 people here and there. And I did a video on it. I addressed it, this, that, and the other. And then I saw some odds that Pochettino is now second favourite behind Mikel Arteta. I mean, the state of Arsenal Football Club right now, where these two are the most likely candidates to take over from Unai Emery, is just mind-boggling to me. And it seems as though this is now picking up traction, and Arsenal fans have now gotten used to this idea. And then they think, well, yeah, why not Poch? To me, I keep getting asked the same question because I think people see me argue with people on Twitter. By the way, I have a new approach on Twitter from tomorrow, right? Because the way I see it is, for me, when I see somebody who has a different, who has a tweet status that I don't agree with, I don't start abusing them and going on their Twitter to abuse them. It's not my style. It never has been my style. Instead, what I tend to do is I use my own platform to voice my opinion, right? Apparently, Twitter does not follow the same rule. So from now on, I'm not going to rise to these stupid arguments. I always like to try and have personal relationships on Twitter, and people seem to have abused that. And I'm going to change my entire approach with regards to how I approach Twitter going forward. I'm just going to say my piece and then bounce. That's pretty much my plan from now on. I'm hoping I can still maintain the relationship with you guys on here, because although YouTube is just as mad normally as Twitter, I like to think that the subscribers I have here are a little bit more sensible. You guys are not here necessarily because you agree with everything I say, but generally, on the whole, I like to think we have a sensible back and forth without being told that you don't respect me or you can't take me seriously or any sort of abuse that follows from that. So I like to hope that we can continue maintaining that type of relationship. Because like I say, judging by the feedback I've had on Twitter, you guys will not like what I have to say. But I'm hoping that you will at least understand the perspective that I have. I'm going to take you back 18 months ago. 18 months ago, it seemed like an absolutely wonderful idea for Unai Emery to come on board. I must admit, I'm not going to act like I knew this would happen, because that would be wrong, it'd be dishonest, and it would be incorrect. But I wasn't as enthusiastic. I was more relieved than anything because the alternative at the time was to hire Mikel Arteta. And I remember at the time I was sat there and I was thinking to myself, flip me, I thought this Arsenal job would be a job that all managers would want. And somehow we're in a situation where we're having to hire Mikel Arteta. I remember having that thought process. I ain't gonna lie, I was fitting to have a major rant when we hired Mikel Arteta, right? And I thought to myself, surely we're not in this position. Surely we're not about to hire a manager who barely did anything as Arsenal captain. Listen, I liked Mikel Arteta prior to coming to Arsenal. I thought he was a good player. But we spent the majority of his Arsenal career playing him out of position. And he never achieved anything really as Arsenal, apart from, I think it was one FA Cup he had. And I thought, flip me, if we've gotten to the point where we're about to hire Mikel Arteta, it was a dire time. And then Emery seemed to come on board. And bear in mind, let's be real here, Emery wasn't on anybody's radar. He weren't on anybody's radar. He all of a sudden came on board, and I remember the chat room. Because I remember voicing some doubts on Twitter and here. And I remember at the time, my entire chat room was either telling me that Allegri was coming still and that these Emery stories were nonsense, or that, oh, well, if Emery comes on board, he'll do well because he did win back-to-back Europa Leagues, and there's no reason that he can't do that for Arsenal. He's a winner. He makes his teams work hard. All the things that people, other than the winner part, all the things that people are yammering in my ear on Twitter about why Pochettino is suddenly a good idea, right? I remember that. I remember thinking to myself, all right, okay, maybe I can get used to this. He has won trophies, for Valencia and for Seville, his teams did work hard. And one of the things coming off the back of Arsene Wenger's era was that the players weren't working hard, that they were too relaxed, that they didn't seem like they were working hard enough defensively, and that, I wanted a manager who's going to go in there and play time's over, that type of thing, right? So I thought, okay, well, bringing in someone like this, perhaps that they'll have the added effect. They will have the added effect. And you know what? My opinion was starting to change because I saw a team that seemingly was pressing, something that I've been calling on the team to do for a long time. Press. Every other team, every other decent team in the Premier League is pressing. Why aren't we pressing? And Emery, when he first came in, seemed to adopt this style of, we're going to work, we're going to run. Almost Coach Carter style. If you've seen the film, if you know, run. I don't want you to do anything but run. Run at these guys. Do what you got to do. Work hard. Be industrious. And the rest will take care of itself. So in my mind, I was thinking to myself, okay, maybe my mind is starting to change on this. Maybe we're seeing something here. And then we went on a very brief unbeaten run. It's Arsenal. Usually we go on an unbeaten run at some stage of the season. It's unusual for us that we haven't yet seen that for Arsenal. And that's why everybody's so united behind this cause of getting rid of Emery. So one thing all of us seem to agree on is that Emery needs to bounce, right? But it's like, okay, cool. I'm seeing something out of this Arsenal team. Maybe I'm starting to change my mind. Not that I was against the idea, but I wanted him in as opposed to Arteta, rather than I was a big fan of Unai Emery, right? And again, please, because I don't want this to be gift, please don't misunderstand me. I am not trying to say that I knew this Emery thing would turn out like this. But I just had my reservations. And I thought, okay, maybe I was trying to hard sell myself on the idea. So I thought, okay, let's just wait and see. And he had that horrendous start to the league last season with Man City and Chelsea, and I thought, okay, cool, no problem. Let's just see how it plays out. And then obviously after the unbeaten run, I remember I made a comment, funny enough, on a show with Kenny Ken and Lee. And I remember coming to the conclusion that I felt that Emery was a stopgap manager. They'd be because at the time we thought he'd been given a 2-year contract, and that he was a stopgap manager, and that after those 2 years we'll go on and find someone like a Nagelsmann or a younger manager who can then take this team and transform them in the way, in the mold that they want them to be in, with now the added benefit of we're now working hard with Unai Emery. And obviously, since maybe April to now, that has absolutely gone to shit, because we had the easy end to the season where we should have secured 4th place easily. That went to shit. The Europa League final, we got absolutely smacked up. That went to shit. And then obviously the way this season has gone so far, that's gone to shit, right? And since then, and then off the back of that, now all the people that were making excuses as to why Emery was a good choice have disappeared, have vanished. You're not seeing the bars about, oh, well, he's won 3 Europa League championships, or he made Sevilla into a force, he made Valencia into a force. The PSG, you can't really talk much about PSG because they're in a one-team league, basically. So, all of that had gone by the wayside. And I thought to myself, all right, cool. And now we're at a point where I believe, well, there's usually one contrarian in the chat room. Chat room, you all believe that we should get rid of Unai Emery, right? Everyone is on the same page as far as that goes. But of course, as far as that goes, everybody has their own ideas as to the direction that we should go down. Some people think we should have got Jose. I was never a fan of that. Some people think we should go younger manager. Some people want Brendan Rodgers with the amazing job he's doing at Leicester at the moment. Some people think that they'd like to try and give a chance to Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe is my dark horse. I want you two guys to know that. And I'll explain why in a minute. Based on the thing I'm about to say about Pochettino, you guys will be confused as to why I'd want Eddie Howe. Mind you, Eddie Howe is not my number 1 choice. He's not my number 2 choice. He's not my number 3 choice. So everybody calm down, right? And then, so you have people that have their own ideas and own different directions. Then the thing that threw the spanner in the works was earlier this week. Pochettino was sacked. And everyone was like, hold on. Spurs sacked their most successful manager in recent history, Pochettino. But then I realized, because Arsenal have been so crap, it didn't actually occur to me that, hold on, until yesterday, Spurs were 14th. I didn't even realize they were that low. They were 14th. And they did not give 2 craps about the fact that Pochettino took them to a Champions League final last season. They didn't care that week on week, season on season, for the last 3 years, they've taken Spurs into the Champions League competition themselves by finishing in the top 4. All they care about is the fact that they were 14th, the fact that the players had given up on them, the fact that the players were moaning about the training sessions, the fact that some players were being played out of position, the fact that the same way we're bitching about Pepe being on the bench, and Ndombele, their big summer signing, has been on the bench for a majority of the time. The fact that the Spurs fans are just as bamboozled with what Pochettino was doing as we are with Emery. They just decided, you know what, enough is enough. I don't care what you've done before. Enough is enough. Daniel Levy, who hates to spend money, decided to prise open his wallet, say, what is it, 12 million for you to bounce? There you go, bounce. And you know what? I respected it. And I did a video respecting it. I did a video respecting the idea that this could be that they could have the fortitude. A team that can't spend money at the moment decided, you know what, enough is enough. I don't care if we don't have money. We must change the situation. And they spent the money to get rid of Poch. Quite honestly, I hate Tottenham. But bravo, and it makes me all sick to say that. Bravo for saying, you know what? You made a ruthless decision because you want to be successful. And you don't deem a Champions League final and top four as successful. You don't think 14th is good enough. You don't think 14 points from 12 games is good enough. Bounce. And I always thought, as Arsenal fans, we look at that situation and think to ourselves, I told you Poch was a failure. He didn't win a damn thing. Poch didn't do nothing for them, really. Yeah, all right, he was consistent for them, but he didn't do anything for them, really. He took them into the Champions League. He got them to a final. Heck, that was what Wenger did the last 10 years of his season. Because that's what Wenger did. Wenger, in his last 10 years of the season, what was it? 2 of the last 10 years he didn't get Arsenal into the Champions League. Was it 2? 2 years he didn't get Arsenal into the Champions League. And we deem that to be unacceptable that we sacked him correctly, by the way. But in those last, what was it? Sorry, the Champions League final, because someone will correct me. The Champions League final was 13 years ago. Apologies. So in the last 13 years, Wenger did the same thing and got us into the Champions League more. But all the people calling for Poch called for Wenger's head. So what do you want then? An Argentinian version of Wenger? Except I'm doing Wenger a disservice, really. Because within those 13 years, he also added 3 FA Cups. And we still all wanted Wenger to go, or mostly wanted Wenger to go by the very end, wanted Wenger to go. And now our solution is, because our situation is so bad with Unai Emery, we're so bad, we are just gonna get us half a semi or a stiffy at the first little hole that comes by. Never mind the fact that they've just been tossed away by our arch nemesis. Pochettino, the same guy that was fired by Tottenham, fired, mind you. People that are comparing this to Sol Campbell, bruh, it's not the same. It's not the same. Sol Campbell, we took Sol Campbell. Sol Campbell was coming to the end of his contract. Tottenham fans didn't want him to leave. The manager didn't want Sol Campbell to leave. We took him. Just the same way that if Pochettino had won all this stuff, and then we said, and he was coming towards the end of his contract, and we said, come, bruv, one Tottenham, they can only take you so far. Come, we can win you the Champions League. Then all right, fair enough. I'll shut my mouth. But that this idea that, oh, well, you know, Poch has played half decent football. The other bar that I heard today was, oh, well, he'd make us defensively better. Defensively better? If they were so defensively sound, why are they 14th? Or were they 14th? Defensively better on my back foot. And then you have other people saying, oh, well, Chig, you're just saying that because Poch hasn't won anything. Okay, forget the fact he didn't win anything. Forget it. Because I've just spoken about Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe hasn't won anything. It's not just about winning anything. It's about the fact that a team that all of us are proudly say, we are bigger than, we are better than, we're more successful than, they will never be on our level, has just sacked their manager, and we want their unwanted cast off. And Arsenal fans are happy with it. Bamboozles my mind. To say that he's, oh, Chig, but don't you think he's better than Emery is beside the fucking point. Because as I said on Twitter, herpes is better than cancer. I don't fucking want herpes. What are we talking about here? The funny thing is, as much as I don't want Arteta, at least Arteta is, to be honest, one of us. For all of the grief, and I know that won't go down well, but if you're talking about Vieira being one of us, so is Arteta. Arteta played for us for a sustained period of time and was Arsenal captain. That, to me, makes more sense. I don't want Arteta. Let me make that clear. But that makes more sense than Pochettino. You come on. And the sort of people that are coming to me on my team that I put on Twitter and actually making a case for this, saying, oh, well, you know, our situation is so bad when maybe Poch will improve it because, you know, when he came from Southampton, he took a Tottenham side that was flirting with relegation and made them amazing. Cool. By the end, what happened? How much success did he bring Tottenham? I grant you, they're a top 4 side. There's nobody here, no matter how much you hate Tottenham, that doesn't consider them to be a top 4 side. But to consider Pochettino as an Arsenal manager is blasphemous, in my opinion. Because I only do this in my opinion. And I've been trying to defend myself on Twitter because apparently I'm not allowed my opinion when I go on my platform, on Twitter or on here. I don't argue with people on their tweets. That's one thing people will notice about me. You will never see me have an argument on somebody else's tweet. It's their opinion. You want to tweet out what they tweet out. But when I tweet out something, don't come on me and start telling me that, oh, well, you can't respect my opinion. Because that's some bullshit. Motherfucker, then why are you responding to me? I didn't ask you to respond to me. I'm tweeting out what I feel. So for me, I just thought, I've been responding to the same 4 or 5 people all day. And I just decided at some point, I was looking at my girl, and I was just thinking, you know what? I'm going to stop responding to these motherfuckers. Because what's the point? I can now see with Twitter why people come off it. Because it's a poisonous place. Even people you think you're cool with, they'll all of a sudden just turn on you for the likes. Start quoting, tweeting your shit for the likes. Rather than actually having a conversation with you as a human being. I would respect certain people more if they said to me, you know what, let me DM him and actually have a conversation with him about his tweet that I don't agree with for whatever reason. If they felt that strongly about it. So to me, in my view, and this is my opinion, I said this wouldn't be popular. And it wouldn't be popular. Arsenal Football Club, Arsenal fans, you should be much more ambitious than Pochettino. I was saying this on Lee's channel yesterday. Why can't we? I know it's unlikely. I'm not deluded, people. But why can't we go to Atletico Madrid and say, how much you want for Diego Simeone? And just be like, bow. And Ryan, I'll come to your comment. Thank you very much for that donation. I'll promise I'll come to your comment. Don't let me forget. Don't let me forget. You know what? Let me read it now. Chig, I think Emery's plan is in the summer was to outscore teams, and it backfired by not having a world-class centre-back and CDM. But I'm coming back to that because I think that's an excellent point. I'm coming back to that. Thank you once again for the donation. Why can't we go to Atletico Madrid and say, how much do you want for Diego Simeone? Bow! And take him. That's the ambition I want my club to show. Not Mikel Arteta, not Tottenham's cast-off. I want us to go and get... Do you know what? One thing I have to admit, it's making me feel sick that I'm complimenting Tottenham so much. I respect them saying, you know what? We need a trophy. Let's go and get us a trophy specialist in Jose Mourinho. I didn't want him because I have other concerns about Jose Mourinho. None of them are that sentimental Arsene Wenger shit either. It's more about how he develops youth and other stuff. But I respect them for saying, you know what, we want a trophy. Let's go and get us a manager that's best in the best position to get us a trophy. And that's what they've done. Why can't we do the same? No matter how much it costs. Anyway, to me, and this is my opinion once again, we should be much more ambitious than going for Pochettino just because he's better than Emery. Motherfucker, I'm better than Emery. Let's be fucking real here. The motherfucker ain't got a clue. Ain't got a clue. I'm better than Emery. Oh, I'm sick of arguing it. I'm sick of arguing it. So I just want this to be almost my final response on this matter. Because I've fallen out with people over this. People I thought I was cool with. But they want to come to me and not come to me correct. And for me, there's one thing I hate. I'm cool with everybody. Don't come to me like I'm some sort of dickhead. Like I'm anybody. Like you can't respect my opinion. Sort of approach. I am too grown for that. I'm almost 35. I'm a grown-ass man. All right. That's my rant over with. Guys, I'm sorry I had to go down that route, but I've just had so much bullshit all day. I just thought, let me just respond to it. I'm going to come into the chat room. Ryan, I'm coming to your comments straight away. Please do stick a like on this video. Not even necessarily I'm not even saying stick a like because you agree with my comment. That's not what the like is for. But at least respect the opinion. That's all I ask. So if you do that, please do stick a like on this video. And if you don't do that, doesn't mean you don't respect me. Maybe you don't feel like sticking a like. Whatever. I'm going to leave it to you. There's going to be one video. I'm not going to bitch about likes. All right? I'm going to come to you, Ryan, as you so kindly put a donation in. Thank you very much again. I think you are correct. I think the one person that Emery wanted was Nzonzi. That's a player that he knows, has trusted, and instead was given a younger, smaller guy who clearly he doesn't rate enough in that position. And we see what he's done with that guy since, in as far as the CDM position. And with regards to a centre-back, I think the reason the Saliba deal took so long to complete was the fact that they wanted him this season. We could have done with him this season by the looks of things. And I damn sure don't think that David Luiz was the answer. I think the ideal situation would have been to bring Upamecano and Saliba in at the same time. And it's a shame that it doesn't look like we're able to do that. Because I just don't see us bringing in Upamecano. But I think from our point of view, it's just a case of let's just see when Raul decides to tap out on Emery. Because one thing that was made very clear today is that the reason Emery still has a job today is your Don Raul. I say your because I remember in the summer, I was the one that said Raul seems like a dodgy cat to me. Just gives me dodgy vibes. And I think we all got gassed. Let me not pretend like I wasn't gassed as well. We all got gassed by the fact that Pepe came in and we were all calling him Don Raul and this, that, and the other. But now we're starting to see this undercover crap. And instead of doing the right thing for the club, he's doing the right thing for his countrymen. That, and let's be real here, he was also, Raul was higher. You can't tell me he wasn't because he was part of the interview panel. He was the one that interviewed him alongside Ivan Gazidis. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question, Ryan, or your donation, Ryan. Thank you once again, my bro. All right, let's go right to the start. Let's see what you lot are saying. Allegri given the job over inherit same problems. Fuck Raul Ciani. Eddie Howe's awful at defending. But like I say, for me, I I like the way he communicates with his players. Don't get it twisted. Eddie Howe's like 5th on my list of people I want. If you want people I want, Simeone number 1 is ideal. Rafa's number 2 because Rafa would sort out that defense. I know you guys ain't laughing at that. Rafa is another one who is a winner, has won everything, ironically, but the Premier League. Weirdly, he's won everything else. He's the only manager to have won the Champions League, the Europa League, the Super Cup, and the FIFA Cup Championships. He's the only manager to have done all 4 of those. So this is a winner and someone who focuses defensively, someone who has Premier League experience, can speak English. Brother, he ticks boxes. He's Spanish, so he has the Raul relationship potentially there. To me, he ticks boxes. I don't even know why we're not on him. He's ticking boxes all day long. %. Arsenal have retardation. It's like a small club mentality. Pochettino is a good manager. Everton have sacked Silva, though. Have they actually sacked him? My gosh. So basically, every other club is doing bits apart from Arsenal. I didn't even know. Has it popped up on my phone? Oh, it actually just has popped up on my phone. See what I'm saying? What are we doing? None. Sitting in our house. I don't go on Twitter now. It's a load of crap. Joanne, I think you're right. I need to follow that. I need to follow that belief. We're lucky to score anyone. Celtic is a way bigger club than Leicester. Oh, you say that. Brendan Rodgers left in April because he was saying anyone. Celtic is a way bigger club than Leicester. Oh, you say that. Brendan Rodgers left in April because he was so desperate to get to Leicester. I mean, you're right in theory, but the league is not big enough. Chig, we are not Man City. But here's the thing, though, John. For me, I hear what you're saying, but I don't want to accept where we are. The only way you move forward is by being ambitious. I mean, Jon Snow, just think about this. There was once upon a time, Man City had Sean Gota. I mean, come on. The reason that they step forward, yes, is a lot of money, but it's also ambition as well. Come on, guys. Stephen Gilchrist, I should say. Chig, all those managers are going to demand a budget. Absolutely. But are you telling me that Pochettino is the only one that can work without a budget? Heck, Rafa is used to not having money from his Newcastle days. Hire him. Straight acting like a big club. Exactly, DJ Fury. Yes, please, Ryan. Please get them to hit those likes up. 47, well over 100 people in here. We are disgrace. Everton sack. Arteta will be favourite for the Everton job. Yeah, I agree. I think they'll go for Arteta. He's a former Everton player. Oh, Silva's not sacked. Okay. Silva getting sacked in the morning. He's not sacked. The Vaughan's shown us that Spurs are more ambitious than Arsenal. But really, and there you go, Herbert. There you go. Silver sacking's not on Sky. People, including pundits, underestimate Rafa. Ryan, I'm with you, my bro. I am with you. Arsenal fans underestimate Rafa because every time I suggest it, people kind of like chuckle. But to me, and Jeff Pearson said, Jeff Patterson, sorry, apologies, said that Rafa's number 1 for me, knows how to work with shit owners. And that, to me, he ticks so many boxes. It's incredible. He's experienced. let's just say you have in mind you want a Freddie to step up eventually. You want a younger manager, a Nagelsmann, to step up eventually. You want a manager to do a 2-3 year job. Rafa's experienced. He's a winner. He knows the league. He can speak English. He's used to tight budgets. He's used to terrible owners. I mean, bruh, and people are talking about Poch. What's going on here? What's going on? Oh my gosh. Arsenal fans, man. Arsenal fans. Making me lose my mind. I'd get Rafa in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. He'd be an ex to me. And Oliver likes disagreeing with me. Even Oliver halfway agrees. Oliver hates disagreeing with me. And even he halfway agrees. There are good recesses, Emery, after December 9th, apparently. Yeah, because they want to give Emery 3 games. Norwich away, Brighton at home, West Ham. I think West Ham's at home. I think it's at home. Considering we struggled to Southampton at home, is anyone confident for those 3 games? Zion. Who the fuck would want to manage us or our players when it comes to us? To me, what I would love is for Arsenal fans, and I think we can all agree on this at least, if Arsenal can make a move on that manager now, right? Maybe they need the 3 games so they can secure a new manager. They can make a new manager now, get them in, then maybe, just maybe, I think the league is done. It's about finishing as high as we possibly can in the league. But at least the Europa League should be the focus. I think regardless, it should be the focus of a new manager. We must win that. I mean, our eggs need to be all in on that basket. And then get us somehow, drag us somehow into that Champions League. And then maybe, just maybe, we might be able to do something next season. And I think for me, Rafa is your guy for that. He's your guy for that. He's won the competition before, so this is someone who knows how to do it. He knows the league. He's defensively excellent. Excellent. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Talk about Poch defensively good, but Spurs are 14th. Come on. Come on. Emery knows how to win it too. Yeah, so much so that we got smacked up and embarrassed last season. Emery's getting the sacked, I'm hearing. Jon Snow, come on. Come on now. Don't do that. Don't do the ITK thing. That's why Wack, who's unforgiving in the chat room, by the way, has called you what he's called you. I don't approve of it, but that's why he's done that. It's West Ham's away. Okay, excuse me, Ben. Thank you. West Ham is away. If the ball can't get a manager they want, just give it to Freddie for now. It can't get any worse than this. Co-signed. Because Freddie is my number 3 choice on an interim basis. I want to specify that because I want anyone talking crap. On an interim basis. I don't want us to do an Ollie. Just saying. Emery knew how to win it too. Poch is nearly our manager. He ain't good. I wonder if Poch might be considered for the Everton job. I know that sounds laughable, but let's be real here. I mean, unless he's waiting for the Real Madrid or United job, I wonder if he might take the Everton job. Half the Arsenal squad is absolute rubbish. No more than a top 12 team. Yeah, I like Chig's stance on Freddie. See what he's got. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, my bro. Breaking. I'm hearing that Lucas Torreira has issued a request to terminate Lacazette's contract after he reportedly got motivated his business. ITK John. That's what you need to change your handle to. Chig, we need Tierney, Bellerin, and Holding back. That was the bar, wasn't it, Mike? That was the bar. Now they're all back. What are we saying? Now they're all back. What are we saying? I can see Poch going to PSG. Good call. Good call. Poch is going to Brentford FC. Awesome. Do we need a managerial hard man, less technical, more sort out the crybaby Wolves? And that's Diego Simeone, Mike. Straight up. Just imagine Diego Simeone coming into our dressing room, talking to Granit Xhaka. Oh my gosh. It's the kind of thing that gives me a semi. Good evening, Chig. Question: what kind of fans that live in? Sorry, what can fans do that don't live in London? We have to stop the cash flow in Kroenke if we want change. To me, I'm not a big fan of causing problems on social media, but you guys logistically can't do much. So the only thing you can do is just keep that movement going. Because the one in, and you know what? For me, do you know what? Scratch that. Do you know what, honestly, fans who don't live in London can do? Go at Arsenal sponsors. I'm just saying. Because I'll tell you what, sponsors want a peaceful life. And if Arsenal fans start going at their sponsors, trust me, that's something even the owners will take notice of. Because the one thing sponsors don't want is any problems. Think Adidas wants problems? Adidas wants people to continue buying that kit, not saying too much of a word. Go at their sponsors. Go at them. Because then because to be fair, Raul seems to be the main stumbling block here. He's the one that seems to be the one sticking his heels in. Because even that arrogance of Chips Keswick, whatever his name is, has threatened to leave because of this. Because Emery is still in a job. And that's coming from him. So to me, I say go at the sponsors. Do what you can. Adidas is based over in America for the American guys. You just tweet and flood their mentions. And you best believe they'll start having meetings. Oh no, Sir Chips is leaving. Stop going, everyone. Empty seats will yeah, you're right. You're right, Joanne Smith. And the ones in London, the ones that can get to the Emirates Stadium, you see what Joanne Smith has said? I wish I could pin it. Doesn't give me that option. So I'm not doing it off StreamYard. But yes, Joanne Smith just said, just stop going, everyone. The more empty seats, the better they will listen. There you go. So you got a two-way plan there. For the people outside of London, you flood the sponsor mentions. Why do I keep calling mention shits? Mentions. For the people who go to the stadium, stop going. They'll soon get rid of him. Stephen, my boy. Can't disagree. Rafa would be a great appointment after this season now that Mourinho has been appointed. I completely agree, Chig. Sponsors is the first ones to drop people in the light of controversy. You guys won't like this example, but this happened. And for wrestling fans, you already know about this example. I remember there was one WWE like 2 years ago did one women's battle royal or something like that. Can't remember. I don't watch wrestling like I used to as a kid, but I remember seeing a lot of news about it. And they named I think it was a battle royal or a Royal Rumble or something like that. Fabulous Moolah. Now, if you Google the Fabulous Moolah, I think that's her name. I don't watch wrestling like I used to. I think her name's Fabulous Moolah, right? There was so much uproar that they would name this tournament the Fabulous Moolah. that fans didn't just start bitching at WWE. They went at their sponsors. I think their sponsors at the time were KFC, people like that, flooding their mentions that they are a disgrace. Because like the Fabulous Moolah, I think, was abusing the women back in the day. Like she used to like sexually abuse them sometimes, allegedly, physically abuse them, verbally abuse them. Like she's like a pretty hated figure, albeit in some quarters is seen as a legend, allegedly. Because I ain't trying to get sued out here, right? And so what the fans did is they didn't just start at the WWE, they just flooded the sponsors' mentions. Within 2-3 days, that tournament name was changed quick time. Quick time. And then mess around. This is what you got to do. You got to go out there, the sponsorships. That's what you got to do. Jordan, I knew a wrestling person. Forgive me. I don't watch it like I used to. I don't know. I don't watch it like I used to. But I knew it was something like that. But I knew that they changed their name quick. It was like 2-3 days. Sponsors is what you got to do. Yeah, I know about the Fabulous Moolah, Antics Chig, and unfortunately, it's not a lie. Funny things went back in the day in the WWF. See? There you go. So anyway, for me, I just wanted to get that off my chest because I am sick of tweeting the same. Like I said, my whole approach for Twitter is going to change. I'm going to stop getting into stupid arguments. I'm going to continue voicing my opinion. I don't care how many people like it or don't like it. I'm going to voice it. If you ride with me, you ride with me. If you disagree, cool. Let's have a debate, but let's not be abusive or be disrespectful. For me, I'm a very simple guy. Just come to me correct, and I'll talk to anyone. But come to me and talk to me like a dickhead, then you'll know about it too. So that's all I wanted to say on that. Just wanted to have my 2 cents on it. Guys, I hope you enjoy your Sunday evening. Thank you so much for listening to me rant it, because it was a rant. I know it was a rant. Apologies about the rant. Please do hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you. I'm slowly but surely, I'm under the 300 mark for what I need to get to 7K now. So that all you guys can do is help me get to 7K. So please do that by hitting that subscribe button. Under 300 to go. So I'm hoping to get there before Christmas. It's going to be tight, but I'm hoping to do it. So yeah, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Because if you've already subscribed, the other thing you can do is hit the likes so that new people can see it and then they might subscribe. So please do hit that like button before you go. All right, I'm out of here, people. Enjoy your Sunday night. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy Monday. Moving forward. Take care. Peace.